Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be providing a long-term market analysis for AAVE. In this video, I'll be talking about some longer-term areas of support and resistance, some indicators like the RSI, as well as the AAVE Bitcoin ratio, which I think is extremely important to consider. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, feel free to check out our sponsors in the link in the description below. This channel is partnered with FTX.us. They are a great cryptocurrency exchange. Go check them out. So I'm going to start off here on the AAVE USD weekly pair. And first, I just want to talk about this very key level of support right around $45. Now, notice how this was a previous all-time high back in the last cycle. This was the level in January 2018 where AAVE had its all-time high. And then from there, later on, we went into this pretty massive bear market. And then you can see that is the level that we've bounced off support. That is the level that held back on this capitulation in June. So that's a very positive sign to see. That's a classic resistance into support flip. So if we do have another leg down and we do start to retest that once again, then really look out to see if AAVE can continue to hold this area as longer term support. And if we were to have another retest and say hypothetically we formed a double bottom, that would look pretty promising. If we have some sort of higher low where potentially we're coming back up, forming a higher low and then continuing to move on, that's also a great sign. But in general, what I do want to see is a break of this general downward sloping resistance. So that is the green line on this chart. You can see that is where mainly all of these lower highs have been forming off of ever since this downtrend started back in May of 2021. AAVE has been putting in lower highs as well as lower lows. So you can see all these weekly candles coming up into this resistance, forming lower highs, and then continuing lower. So we do want to start to break that structure. And ideally, again, if we can form a higher low, a double bottom or something where we're starting to reverse, that's exactly what I want to see. Now, another thing that I'm going to be watching out for are these weekly moving averages. So on the chart, that is the red line, that is the 20-week simple moving average, the green line, the 21-week exponential moving average, and these have also been holding resistance throughout the bear market. So you can see when we first lost them back here in September of 2021, AAVE initially flipped it back into resistance in November. We had these rejections, came down, formed lower lows. And then a similar pattern just kept playing out. We had another move back up, right into the resistance in December, flipped it into resistance, continued lower lows, and then it's basically repeating that pattern where we haven't been above these sustainably since we lost them back here in September of 2021. So that's another very key level that I'm going to be watching out for as our resistance. And if AAVE can start to break back above this, that is going to be a very positive sign. So now I want to switch over here back to the AAVE Bitcoin pair. And this is a very important ratio. So basically this is just going to show us the opportunity cost of AAVE, because if those dollars are being invested into AAVE, those are dollars not invested into Bitcoin. So typically with altcoins, you do want to see them outperform Bitcoin. You can see that AAVE really hasn't done a whole lot over the past few years. It's basically at the same level it was back in August of 2020, but some altcoins have actually bled since that time frame. So you could look at this as maybe it hasn't outperformed, but it also hasn't significantly underperformed. Now, similar to the USD pair, AAVE has had a key retest of the previous cycle's all-time high. You can see back here in January of 2018, AAVE Bitcoin reached this valuation of approximately 250,000 Satoshis. And then when we broke back above that level in July of 2020, we came down, had a retest, bounced off it as support, another retest here in October, another retest as well in January of 2021. So we really haven't lost this level, but we've had several retests. So it is promising to see that AAVE Bitcoin has been holding this as strong support. And I would look out to see if in the next few months we can continue to hold this and potentially start to break above some of these resistance areas. So what I'm looking out for in terms of resistance is the yellow line on this chart. So that is going to be the 50-week simple moving average. So I'm just going to remove all these drawings here so we can really just focus on specifically the 50-week simple moving average. So notice how back in December of 2019, we first initially broke above it for the first time in AAVE Bitcoin's history. And then we had a back test, retest of support. We bounced off this level and then we continued higher. And then you can see another retest right here in November of 2020, another bounce of support. We continued higher, another retest right here in January 2021. And then ultimately, we started to have more and more retests consistently, eventually breaking below it right here in September of 2021. And ever since then, we have been flipping it into resistance and rejecting off of it. So this is a level that I do want to see reclaimed. You can see that the current past few months have been consolidating right under this level, with the 50-week average being around 400,000 Satoshis. So this is another level that I really do want to see AAVE reclaim, and if AAVE can start to break above this and potentially flip it back into support, that's going to be a very positive and bullish sign that potentially we're going to start heading back up to some of these lower highs and higher valuations. So lastly, I do want to talk about the RSI, which is on the bottom right here. And I'm noticing a very interesting pattern here where we do have pretty consistent bullish divergence. So bullish divergence is usually when the price is declining and the RSI is increasing. So as an example, look back here to February, we had this close of around 300,000 Satoshis, continuing lower to around 260,000 Satoshis. So the price was declining. Meanwhile, the RSI, the momentum oscillator, was increasing. We went from this valuation of around 34, which is pretty oversold, to the valuation of around 38. So we did form a higher low, and we have been in this uptrend on the RSI ever since December of 2021. Meanwhile, the price has been mostly stagnant. So there is some bullish divergence here. There's also another hidden bullish divergence as the price back in March has been declining to where it is today, but the RSI has been making higher highs. So this is overall a pretty positive sign, and it's something that I'm watching out for to continue into the next few months. Again, the RSI has been in an uptrend since December of 2021, forming higher lows and higher highs. So if I just restructure these lines to basically outline that uptrend, you can see it has been fairly consistent over the last few months, and this is something that I think is very important, especially if AAVE Bitcoin can start to reclaim the 50 level, which for the RSI is the neutral period. That is typically when you transition from either bearish to bullish or from bullish to bearish, depending on where you are with respect to this midpoint. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out our sponsors in the link in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one.